I would definitely have to say that one of the more mysterious characters in the sequel trilogy has got to be Supreme Leader Snoke. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are working very hard on the final installment of the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself that will bring in new surprises, twists, and turns for sure that'll really shock the audiences. Now, looking at Episode 9 specifically, we do know that J.J. is going to be changing some elements from The Last Jedi that'll make us look at Episode 8 in a different way. We're not quite sure specifically of what they will be doing in this movie, but nonetheless, let's get on the subject of Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which specifically has all to do with the character of Snoke, specifically a description of Snoke inside of his throne room that appears to be under construction on board of the Supremacy. In front of him is a mysterious figure kneeling before Snoke in a similar fashion to Vader and Palpatine in Empire. Snoke is wearing what appears to be a brown robe with blends of black and gray in parts of the fabric. In his left hand, he holds a gold lightsaber hilt. The next goes over Snoke with an ignited white lightsaber, indicating that the crystal is pure. So I want to go over a couple of indicators here that really is very interesting for the character of Snoke in Episode 9. Now, we do know that Andy Serkis is actually involved with a secret project that is indeed requiring a lot of motion capture work, and that could be Episode 9. But looking at this, I gotta say, we haven't seen Snoke use or wield a lightsaber to date, something that a lot of fans are really looking forward to show up eventually in the sequel trilogy or a future Star Wars film that would involve Snoke. Now, if you look at the prequels, Palpatine at least got to use a lightsaber, and that's one thing that Snoke, that's one thing that makes Snoke different in the sequels, is that he so far he's only used some Force abilities, the mind tricks between both Kylo Ren and Rey, and the Force lightning. So apart from all of this, why would the crystal be white? Well, that means it's pure, and that's one thing that if you actually do know a lot about the canon in the Star Wars universe, the color of certain actual kyber crystals do mean a lot of things in the sequel trilogy and in the current Disney canon. So I want to focus on this mysterious figure that's kneeling before Snoke apparently, and I'm starting to believe that this is most definitely Snoke's other apprentice before Kylo Ren. Again, it goes over how there's a description of Snoke inside of this throne room that's currently under construction on board of the Supremacy, indicating that this is indeed a flashback sequence in Episode 9. Now, as far as Snoke's other apprentice goes, we really know little to nothing about him, other than what we heard about in some of the Disney canon out there. I believe it was The Last Jedi novelization that mentioned it very briefly, that Snoke at least had another apprentice before Kylo Ren. And a lot of people really want to know exactly who he is and what happened to him. Did he get killed off? Did he survive? Did Snoke kill him? So many questions left unanswered. As far as Snoke having a lightsaber in Episode 9 in the form of a flashback, how do you guys feel about that? Well, to me, I think that the more the merrier, right? When it comes to all the Jedi and Sith and Force stuff and dark side user aspects of the Star Wars franchise are of course the elements of Star Wars that I really adore. Apart from that, it's all the war elements like in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. So looking at Episode 9, we can tell that both JJ and Chris are actually toying around with the concept of implementing Snoke into the form of a flashback, while also showing us that he indeed once owned a lightsaber himself. Now, I know some of you guys may think that he's connected to Emperor Palpatine perhaps, and that maybe, and just maybe, this was Palpatine's old lightsaber, because if you look at one of his sabers, it also has gold plating over it, so there's a possibility that maybe Snoke actually owns Palpatine's lightsaber hilt. It's just a possibility. But looking at Snoke, guys, I will say one thing for sure, is that we will be learning more about this character during the final quarter of 2019, just before episode 9 drops. In the comic for Age of Resistance, I believe it's called. It's going to go over a whole entire issue of Snoke, explaining his backstory, apparently, and new surprising facts about the character. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.